President, Conference, I want to begin my second address as General Secretary of the National Education Union by saying how proud I am to lead the largest education union in Europe and the third largest union in the TUC. A union that is growing in membership and in activists. A union that fights for what is right for education workers, for schools and colleges, and for the young people that we teach. Conference, I also want to express my deepest thanks and congratulations to Sarah Kilpatrick, our President. Not only for her fantastic chairing of conference, not only for her powerful speech on Monday, but for her comradeship and outstanding leadership throughout the year. Since stepping into the role far earlier than expected, she has provided insight, strength, and an unwavering commitment to our union. Her dedication to our cause and her conviction in the power of education is truly exemplary. But I also want to take this opportunity to thank the staff of the NEU. Staff like Jane Townsend on the card table. 47 years Jane has dedicated to our movement, our union, our profession, an absolute stalwart of Hamilton House. The work of our staff behind the scenes, supporting members, helping organise our campaigns, writing policy and advice, helping with branch finances and everything else they do, in keeping the union running so that we remain such a powerful force, does not go unnoticed. I also, of course, want to say a very special thank you to our signers. And a thank you to the Conference Arrangement Committee, who have worked tirelessly to bring this event together, and to the staff of this venue who have made our gathering possible. Thank you. Conference, I want to use my time today to take stock of our victories, to recommit to our struggle, and to chart the course ahead over the coming year. In my speech to you last year, I said that our union would light fires of resistance in schools and colleges to right the wrongs our members too often face. In the past year, we have witnessed the undeniable power of local action. We have ramped up our workplace organising and have supported even more school groups to take action on a range of issues where negotiations have failed. In 2024, 219 formal ballots were approved by the Action Committee and 593 days of action were taken by members. This is more than double the previous year. Conference, together we have righted many wrongs across the country, in primary schools and secondary schools, in cities, towns and rural areas. Our members have taken a stand, demanding better pay, manageable workloads and improved conditions for teachers and support staff alike. In non-academised sixth form colleges across England, 2,000 NEU members took 8 days of action when they were offered a lower pay rise than teachers in academised sixth forms. Their committed action won an improved pay offer and closed the door on attempts to introduce a two-tier pay system in our colleges. In the independent sector, members continued to stand against attacks on the teachers' pension scheme, challenging employers on the ground and keeping the issue high on the government's agenda. Our dispute at Coventry School Foundation has become the longest-running TPS dispute in the independent sector, with 19 days of action taken so far. In maintained nursery schools last summer, parents joined educators on the picket lines at Balham and Eastwood to protest against job cuts, funding cuts, and the closure of these vital settings. In the state sector, reps and officers across the land have been leading the pushback on poor pay, excessive workload and bullying management. We are lighting fires of resistance in multi-academy trusts with employer-wide disputes covering both teaching and support staff to deliver for all educators and all children. A groundbreaking strike by NEU members in 8 schools in the University of Brighton Academy Trust, took on the employer over workload and cuts arising from the excessive slicing of funds for central costs. Following 5 days of action in the summer, the employer agreed to change its funding model, a win that will see more money available for young people and their education. At the Dun Raven Mat in Lambeth, NEU members took strike action to win improved maternity pay, winning for women, winning for mothers, and winning for their families. Members at 3 schools in Quegsmat in Derbyshire won a victory over teacher and support staff pay last summer, and a ballot is in process currently at Outwood Grange Academy Trust, Sir Martin Oliver's old trust, over attempts to increase the length of the working day. Teachers and support staff working together and winning together. We want to see more of this. Organising in workplaces, developing reps and supporting branch officers to build links between workplaces to spread out success. Elsewhere, we have seen a wave of action in recent weeks in London, with schools in Haringey, Waltham Forest, Lambeth, Redbridge, Ealing, Hackney, all taking action at the same time. As a result of strike action across a number of Waltham Forest schools, NEU members want a pay policy that gives automatic pay progression up the pay scale. Members at Cottingham High School near Hull, they beat back bullying management after 18 days of action. 7 days of action at North Somerset Prue, with a further scheduled 16 saw members win back years of back pay after rejecting inferior officers. And our support staff at Cairns Hill in Southampton won £400 of back pay. In Wales, members have been fighting back against job cuts and attacks on working conditions. At Robert Owen School in Powys, a formal ballot and the threat of industrial action halted redundancies and ensured provisions were put in place to address health and safety concerns. At Clapham Major High School in the Vale of Glamorgan, a successful ballot has already seen improvements over behaviour concerns, and strikes are set to take place in June over excessive workload and a proposed reduction in PPA. And NEU Cymru supply members, they took their supply agency rip-off protest to the Welsh Government with a demo at the Senedd, and we continue to lobby and push to secure a national supply model for Wales with all supply teachers covered by school teachers' pay and conditions. Through all of your steadfast action, you have proved what we already know, that when we fight, we win. Victories on workload, on pay, on improved conditions for teachers and support staff alike. This did not come at the generosity of employers or the goodwill of politicians. They came from organised reps and members standing shoulder to shoulder saying enough is enough. Conference, we know that real change will only come when we build our strength from the ground up, by increasing our membership and workplace density, by increasing the number of reps, training and supporting them, by bringing together reps into lively branches to discuss and share good practice. This is how we shape what happens in education. For early career teachers and their mentors, for women returning from maternity, for Senkos needing release. More members, more reps and stronger branches mean more power, and more power means fairer workplaces, and that is good for education and good for the quality of learning. And conference, this is as true of support staff as it is teachers. We have doubled our support staff membership since the formation of the NEU. I want to double it again, and then double that, and then double that. Support staff join the NEU when we fight on the issues in schools relevant to them. So get out there and fight for them, whether it's on job creep, maternity, term time only contracts, because a fighting union is a union people join. Conference, our task in the coming year is to grow all sections of the NEU, to ensure every workplace is organised, and to empower every teacher and support staff member to stand up and be counted. The vision I have for this union is a union of 1 million members, If you are in the school and not in the union, you should be in the NEU. Now, I said last year, and I recommit today, to my belief that there should be one education union for all education workers. The case for professional unity is clear, and I would like to wish whoever becomes the next General Secretary of NASUWT all the best. But I'd also like to mark the retirement of my friend Patrick Roach. Patrick is only the second black General Secretary of a TUC-affiliated union, and I am the third. Patrick has done so much in the movement around anti-racism and has stood up for NASUWT members. I wish him all the best in the future. I'd also like to note our joint working with colleagues in the NHT and ASCL, especially around the issue of school funding. I'd like to thank Pepe, General Secretary of ASCL, for addressing us yesterday. He is a collaborative school leader. Pepe, like us, believes in ethical leadership. It's often overlooked by the press and by government that we, the NEU, are the second largest school leaders' union. NEU leaders are struggling to do the best they can in very difficult circumstances. However, conference, as we know, not all leaders are as ethical in their decisions as NEU leaders. The Harris Multi-Academy Trust is emblematic of so many things wrong with national education policy. Our members in Harris schools tell us about high staff turnover, off-rolling, poor management practices and bullying tactics. Members also highlighted to us the fact that overseas trained teachers being recruited often from the Caribbean with the promise of QTS would find themselves not only denied a pathway by the employer, but also being paid less than their colleagues. We will not tolerate this practice in any trust around the country. It is exploitation, pure and simple. I cannot tell you, though, how proud I am of the reps and members across the Harris Federation this year who organised against hostile management to build a successful strike ballot. Fearful of our action, Harris backed down and member won a groundbreaking, significant, trust-wide victory on overseas trained teachers and a number of other issues. Black members, white members, British and Jamaican, standing together, organising together and challenging discrimination. Now you will see behind me a picture of Sir Don Moynihan, CEO of Harris. You will see that his salary for 2023 to 24, £500,000. Conference, in what world can this ever be justified? While schools struggle to afford basic resources, while support staff are being paid poverty wages, and whilst teachers are leaving the profession in droves, some academy CEOs are cashing in. This is not just an injustice, it is a national scandal. This is public money being funneled into the pockets of a handful of education profiteers. It is the marketisation of education in its most grotesque form. We demand an end to this greed. We demand salary caps on trust CEOs. We demand full financial transparency from every trust. And we demand a return to a system of education that is run for the benefit of children and communities and not for the enrichment of a privileged few. Conference, our union has a very clear strategy. We will build union power from the bottom up. We will empower members to stand up against the day-to-day symptoms of the wrong national policies. But conference, dealing with the day-to-day symptoms, a narrow curriculum, the datafication of young people, a surveillance culture is not enough. We have to challenge the root cause of what is going wrong in education, the root cause of high staff turnover, the root cause of low student attendance, the root cause of the SEN crisis. We need to campaign for a system of education that isn't based on the values of neoliberalism, of inter-school competition rather than collaboration, because competition, it might work for supermarkets, but it doesn't work for children. Conference, we know as professionals that accountability measures and league tables are not the way to improve the life chances of our kids. Ofsted's punitive regime does not build the capacity of schools to improve or to meet the needs of our young people. Ofsted is only effective at measuring poverty. During this year, we have worked with allies to build on the Beyond Ofsted report and to lead the charge for Ofsted to be abolished. Another policy which is also damaging education and demotivating students, is high-stakes testing. It narrows the curriculum, it stifles creativity, and it fuels teaching to the test. We will continue to build the case for an assessment system that prioritises learning over league tables and child development over data. Now this year, we've seen the launch of our Arts and Minds campaign, a coalition of organisations and high-profile actors, artists and musicians who all realise the importance of bringing creativity back into our curriculum. The arts must be for every school, for every child, and it is their right to be able to enjoy. Where on earth will the future Sam Fenders, the Vicky McClures or Stephen Grahams come from if the creative subjects are forced out of our classrooms? Our assessment campaign can be shown to have played an important part in the establishment of the Curriculum and Assessment Review, led by Professor Becky Francis. Now, we engaged in this review seriously. Professor Francis said that she wanted to be led by data. Now, we argued that whilst data can never show us the full picture, actually, we believe the data supports our arguments. The research we supplied to Becky's review showed that 58% of primary school teaching is given over to English and maths, art, science, history, music, the subjects that make the school day enjoyable, all squeezed out of the timetable. So, conference, I welcome the call of the interim report for more creativity in the curriculum, but there is a massive elephant in the room, because unless you loosen the stranglehold of SATs over the primary curriculum, the creativity that we want to see in our classrooms will never be achieved. And on the question of Ofsted inspection, we welcome this government's move away from crude single-word judgments, but, and this takes some doing, the proposals that Ofsted is currently consulting upon risk making a terrible situation even worse. 5 judgments across 8 areas, inspected in 2 days, ranked in their Nando-Styles colour coding, from lemon and herb to extra hot. Come on. This is not a serious attempt to rethink school accountability. Sir Martin Oliver's big listen has turned into the big ignore and seriously risks becoming the big disaster. So unless Labour comes up with an inspection model that is not high stakes and punitive in intent, they will not fix the recruitment and retention crisis in our schools. The excessive workload, data collection and intensity driven by Ofsted and the fear of Ofsted is unsustainable. Everyone wants high standards in schools. NEU members are the first. But pigs don't get fatter the more you weigh them. It's not inspection that improves school standards, it's investment. And Keir Starmer, Rachel Reeves, where on earth is that? The strategy of this union is to work with this government when we can and press them where we have to. It is the right strategy. It is the strategy our members expect. It is the only strategy. Now, I believe Bridget Phillipson understands many of the problems in the education system and cares about working class kids. I also think on some issues we do share some common solutions. We welcome elements of the Children's Wellbeing in School Bill, particularly the steps taken to rein in the excesses of Academy's so-called freedoms. The bill is a big step in the right direction, but it doesn't go far enough. It's right that we are a part of the Improving Education Together negotiating framework, around the table with employers, trade unions and government, negotiating on workload, negotiating on accountability, negotiating on send. Our members expect this. They expect us to be their voice. However, having a seat at the table is not the end point. Successful negotiations only result from leveraging our power, and it is the power of our union. It is based upon organising, it is based upon campaigning, and it is based upon action. But we are also an independent trade union, one built on our shared desire to improve lives and improve outcomes for children here and abroad. So it is absolutely right that we press this government where we must. Now, Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves, they may say that austerity is over, but in this union, we believe that austerity will only be ended in deeds, not words. Governments say it would be indefensible for our union to take industrial action. Well, I say this to this government. It is indefensible for a Labour government to cut school funding. Because we know cuts hurt kids. Time and time again, we are told there is no money to properly fund our schools or to cover fair pay, no money to repair crumbling classrooms or to scrap the two-child benefit cap. Conference, after 14 years of conservative austerity, we expect better from a Labour government. So my message to government is this. If the SDRB recommendation is not above inflation, if it's not a pay award that takes a step towards a correction in pay, if it does not address the crisis in recruitment and retention, and unless it is fully funded, then we stand ready to act industrially. We will make Labour MPs pay a high political price through our campaigning in their constituencies with our parents across this country. No teacher wants to strike, but we stand ready. The problems of tomorrow could be easily solved today. Bridget Phillipson could publish the SDRB report on time and as promised. The refusal to commit to fund fair pay and to the wider funding of education is not just a policy failing, it is a betrayal. It is a betrayal of a generation of children who get one chance at school. It's a betrayal of the families in our communities who already have the least. It is a betrayal of all those who voted for change. Now, Conference, this government has pledged billions of pounds for military expansion at the expense of the most vulnerable in our society. A tax on the disabled, a tax on the winter fuel allowance, and even a cheap bus fare. It is an outrage. The Labour movement should unite in its condemnation. If there is money for bombs, for bullets, for hypersonic missiles, then there should be money for carers, for those unable to work, and for free school meals. There should be money for mental health support, for SEND, for a pay rise that stops dedicated professionals leaving education altogether. Our economic system is broken. It simply does not work for so many people. If we are truly to change the country for the better, then we need an economic model that invests in people, in communities, and a productive and green economy. It is time for taxes on wealth. A 2% wealth tax on those without assets. We need a 2% wealth tax on assets over 5 million instead of short-changing education, instead of picking the pockets of our pupils. It's time to tax profits. It's time to prioritise our children and our communities over corporate greed. Now, conference, it is undoubtedly the case that the election of Donald Trump to the White House has added a sense of global insecurity. It's not just on the international issues where Trump is such a threat. Trump and his allies seek to dismantle public education, censor what teachers can say, and roll back progress on inclusion and equality in the classroom. Their attacks on educators are not just an American problem. They're part of a global assault on education and democracy itself. Now, I'd like to thank Randi Weingarten for her video to our conference and extend our solidarity to both the AFT and the NEA. We stand with our sisters and our brothers as they resist Trump's reactionary agenda. Their fight is our fight. An injury to one is an injury to all. But conference, as you know, we have our own little pound shop Trump here in the UK. Nigel Farage and Reform are part of a global movement of populist right organisations. These dark forces seek to dismantle our public services, privatise education and scapegoat refugees and the oppressed for society's problems. They push a divisive agenda. They stoke up fear that undermines equality and wages a so-called culture war against progressive ideas and progressive education. Now, conference, you may have noticed that we appear to be living rent-free in Nigel's head at the moment. He believes that we are indoctrinating children with woke ideas. How dare he? That man knows nothing about education, and we will not allow the populist or hard right to dictate what we teach, how we teach, or who gets access to quality education. Our classrooms must remain spaces of inclusion, critical thinking and empowerment, not battlegrounds for their backwards politics. But when Reform is polling 25% of the vote, we know we have to take these issues seriously. The struggles against racism, against sexism, against homophobia, against transphobia, against ableism are real, and the NEU will always challenge discrimination and intolerance. Our union has always been and must always be a union built on solidarity. Our strength lies in our ability to bring together teachers, leaders, support staff, and educators from all backgrounds. And whilst this government might be rolling out the red carpet for Nigel Farage to walk into number 10 through their austerity agenda, we won't stand for it. Farage wants war, that's fine. But I want our union to continue to live rent-free in his head as we organise for an education system and a society where any child, regardless of background, of colour, of religion, feels safe, happy and can flourish. Now, conference, I have a beautiful 6-year-old son. And now he He likes all the things a typical 6-year-old likes. He loves football, he loves Nerf guns. Now, many of you are also parents as well as education workers. And like me also, many of you will have watched the TV drama Adolescence. Perhaps like me, you were stunned into silence when watching it. Now, it is true that the representation of schools and teachers was neither fair nor accurate, but as a father and an educator, I felt fearful for my son and his friends, both boys and girls. Across our schools, we are witnessing a disturbing rise in misogyny that is infecting classrooms, playgrounds, and online spaces. Teachers and support staff are reporting a problematic trend where sexist, degrading ideas towards women and girls are being normalized among young people. Social media platforms have become a breeding ground for misogynistic content, and at the same time, the widespread availability of violent and degrading pornography is shaping young people's perceptions of sex and relationships. Conference, I believe we are in a safeguarding crisis, and it is being fueled by tech companies that prioritize profits over people, engagement over ethics, and algorithms over accountabilities. These same companies are presiding over the introduction of artificial intelligence into education. Now, we cannot entrust this technology to the Silicon Valley tech bros who are only in it for the money. In this union, we will fight for AI to be used to support teachers, not to replace or micromanage them. And we will fight for regulation to force social media platforms to take real action against algorithms pushing harmful ideas to our children. The fight against online harm is a fight for the soul of our schools and society, and it is one that we must win. Conference. The challenges before us this year are serious ones. Our education system is being starved of funds. Our professionalism and expertise is being undermined. Many of our children aren't getting the opportunities they need, and the world outside the classroom is in turmoil. But we are a union of 500,000 members. Teachers, leaders, and support staff. We are a union with a high moral purpose, united in our shared desire to improve education for every child in every classroom. We are a union that stands for what is right when it's right. We are a union built on the optimism that only solidarity can bring, and it is in times of struggle that we find our true strength. So let's leave this conference confident in the courage that our collectivism brings. Let's leave here committed, energized, with a sense of purpose, that we can right the wrongs, that we can bring about change, that we can, through our collective endeavor, organize for a classroom that is creative, that is inclusive, and that is resourced in abundance. Because this isn't just what we demand. It is what our parents demand, and it is what our children need. So thank you, conference. So, I was going to wonder if you'd like to finish with a little sing-song. When the union's inspiration through the workers' blood shall run, there can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. Yet what force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one? For the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong. Let's get out there and win together.